So I want to dive into extensions and kind of the maintenance that we're looking at right now, because it's a little different at this point. We're kind of going past that mark of when we should have gotten a move up already. And let's just talk to them about, some things that we do at home to help maintain that. So the first thing I want to talk about is staying away from extra weight and tension on the hair. So this is huge in the grow out process, because the further your extensions grow out, the more tension it's already giving you. So there's a few things that you can do to help prevent that, though. We all know that hair is the most fragile when it's wet, so we really encourage you to blow dry your roots. If you want to let all of this air dry, let it air dry, but just make sure those roots are dry so they're not stretching even more. So Mary Paige, you're like the queen of, I know, like a high messy bun with your extensions, and it's always so cute. But before I show that, if you don't mind, some people don't like having it on top of their head. And especially when you sleep, you don't want it on top of your head, because it can cause some pulling. So if you want to just show them like a loose bun that they can do that's a little bit lower, and the tools that you use to, again, not create a whole lot of tension. And I'll just kind of turn that over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So traditionally, I like to use a gumi or Invisibobble type elastic. It just provides less tension, and it doesn't put dents in my hair if I sleep in it. So that way I can get a next day style out of sleeping on it. And then also scrunchies are amazing right now, because just about everybody has one. It came back in style. There's very little tension, and it's going to help really maintain less denting and like less tension for our extensions.
Yeah.
So
hey, I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. Little life hack with the gummies, the ones that look like a telephone cord or whatever. Yeah, that one. When those get stretched out, they're not done. Like, you can still use them. Put your blow dryer to them, and they shrink right back up. Or if you want to take the time to boil water, you can drop it in boiled water. But the blow dryer is a lot quicker. So, little life hack. Okay.
Yeah. They really last forever. I've never broken one. I mean, they last forever. So I agree. If you can get more length out of that lifetime, it helps. Whenever we're styling our hair right now with the grow out that we're experiencing, all over the points of contact, we don't want any tension, period. These points right up front are little anchors. They're going to be really important to provide like little to no tension at all. So in these styles, that's what we're really focusing on right now.
And Mary also, she has the volume wefts in. So y'all wanted to kind of relate to her a little bit. She has 3 rows of volume wefts in.
Yes. So one of my favorite styles for sleeping or just like being around the house is going to be a side braid or a side pony. So I just kind of sweep all of my hair over to the side and let gravity do its work, just kind of let it place itself. And then I'm going to grab a section or the whole section of the hair. And then I'll use 2 fingers just to kind of separate it into 3 subsections. And then I'm not pulling, I'm not providing any tension, I'm just loosely braiding it. So you can do that, you can stop halfway down, it creates a little bit of a cute style with the loose ends, or you can go all the way down, and then you just secure it. Same with the side pony. And then after I secure it, I make sure I don't have any tension on the side over here. Just kind of loosen it up just in case. And then I'll pull some pieces out and I'll just kind of roll with it. And that's how I sleep on it. Another option would be doing a loose pony or bun from the back. So, can you see me?
Yep, perfect. Ooh,
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, your hair can still look good when it's grown out.
Right? It still can if you take good care of it. We can make it through this time.
Yes, we can.
So again, I'm just going to let gravity do its work. I'm going to let my hair fall, natural fall behind me. And then I'm going to gather it right here. And then for a low pony, obviously we're just gonna wrap it around once and then twice, depending on how much tension you have in your elastic. And then just focusing on keeping these guys right here nice and loose and laying flush to the scalp. You don't want them sticking out or pulling back. And then just the same as like the side braid, you can pull out some pieces in the front. Another option, this is the Lauren style special. The low bun.
This is how I do my low buns. And you can make it even look cute for work or your Zoom call, or just if you're going to sleep.
Absolutely. So for this, you're going to take your elastic and you're going to go around once and twist. And then the second time around, you're going to do a bun where you just leave a little bit out like this. So what you're going to do with the end part, this little tail, is going to wrap around and then tucking it underneath. And then you can manipulate that. You can make it as messy or as put together as you'd like, but it kind of puts in a little bit of a sleeker style. I kind of like things a little bit messier, so I always end up pulling out some pieces in the front just to kind of frame my face. And then you've got that going on in the back right there. So it's put together, but it's not hard and it's easy on your extensions.
Yep, perfect. So those are just a couple styles that you can do, just kind of giving your hair a break and making sure that there's not tension on it. You don't want to do any high ponytails, like tight ponytails. That causes the most tension. First of all, it's flipping those points of contact up from the natural fall. So it's already over directing that hair into something that's not natural. So you're wanting to keep it as natural as possible. Now you can do a like a high messy bun, but again, you want to make sure that it's loose enough to where you're not feeling any tension at all. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, it says my speaker's not working.
I've still got you on audio.
Okay. So this is Mary Page's go-to, like on day 5, 6 without shampooing. So if you want to kind of show them real quick how you do that and manipulate your extensions into that loose bun.
Yeah, absolutely. So for this style, I'm going to use an elastic, and I have several bobby pins on hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to collect all of my hair in the back and just kind of start forming it up on top of my head, kind of like a pony.
And I'm going to say one thing with the volume wefts, they have 180-degree motion. So they go up and down. They don't go back and forth. So you want to make sure that when you are putting it up on top of your head, that you're going straight up, and it's just, you can tell how smooth it is on the back there, and there's no flipping of the weft. So that's all I was going to say.
Yes, and you'll notice that too when you're styling it, it'll feel uncomfortable or lumpy. It won't look cute. So just making sure it's flush, like Lauren said, is huge for the health of the hair whenever you're styling it up high like this. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my elastic and I'm going to wrap it around and twist, just like we did with the other bun or any traditional pony. And then for the second one, here, let me kind of get a little bit lower. I'm going to, halfway through, I just twist. Let me do that one more time. I twist my wrist and bring it around like this. So it takes some trial and error. Sometimes the first time I don't get it just right. But I like having some loose pieces in there that I can kind of manipulate and pull apart. And you're just gonna kind of form it on your head like how you like it. I like mine to be big. I like to have, well, you want to make sure with extensions that you're pulling a little bit of that tension away, especially from those anchors in the back and in the front. Mm-hmm. So I'm just kind of manipulating it. And whenever I get it just where I like it, I use these bobby pins to secure it down. But keep in mind, everything that I'm pinning right now is not a point of contact for extension. Like, so all of everything is flipped up and out of the way of these bobby pins. And I'll just kind of manipulate it and pin it and take a piece and tuck it in somewhere.
Perfect.
Yeah, just like that. Pull some pieces out in the front. And that's it.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. So one other big thing during this time, like not necessarily with styling, but just maintenance, is brushing your extensions. So we have a couple favorite brushes. I think you have a wet brush with you.
I do.
And then I also like a brush like this that's kind of like a combination brush. So it has the plastic bristles, and then it has the boar bristles in here as well. This is really good for close to your scalp or close to the fawns up at the top, because you want to be brushing up there too. Don't neglect that area, even if your hair is growing out. So one thing that's good to do is kind of lift up your hair in sections. And when you're brushing, you always want to make sure that you're holding on to that weft. So there's, again, not any extra pulling or tension. And starting from the bottom, working your way up, just like you would untangle any long hair. And just making sure that when you do get close to the top up at your roots, that you're still holding on to that weft, but you're really untangling the extension hair and your natural hair. And you feel so much better too once you get all of that nice and clean and get to your scalp. That alone just makes you feel better. So another thing, when I go back to like how fragile your hair is when it's wet, don't even take a brush to your hair when it's wet right now. Especially if we have that time at home. Do some stuff around the house a little bit while your hair's drying, and then maybe start blow drying a little bit, and then start gently brushing out your hair. Because again, it stretches, and you don't want that hair that's in those beads or bonds or tape stretching any more than they should be. And then also when you get out of the shower, it's not always best to wrap your head in a towel on top of your head. I know that's what we like to do. It gets it out of the way and it's not this dripping wet mess. But honestly, what I like to do, actually, I can show you. So, have some laundry over here. I will actually get a t-shirt, and this material is also a lot more gentle on your hair. And what I'll do with all of my extensions, I'll put it to the side, and I'll get like the bottom part of the shirt, and I will put all of my hair inside of that. And then your extensions are so long, and then I will start wrapping it around. And then I have like this big ponytail that all my hair is in. But I just kind of twist it and I'll pull it up like this and put like a ponytail holder around it. And then I just kind of let it dry that way, because it's, again, your hair is kind of more in that natural state instead of everything being on top of your head. So try not to put it on top of your head with a towel. When you're shampooing your hair, it might, especially when it's growing out, everything's hanging a little bit lower, so you have to be careful when you're scrubbing. So what I like to do is section my hair off row by row. I use the wefts, and I have 3 rows in. So I'll start with this is before I even get in the shower, and I will section off and just clip it away. So then I just shampoo section by section. And then I'll just drop the next clip and then shampoo the next section. So you want to make sure that you're not going in a circular motion and you're getting your fingers in between your wefts and kind of going in that zigzag motion. This is just going to help keep your hair where it's supposed to be laying, not tangling it, and you're still getting your scalp super clean. So you still want to make sure that you're getting down to your scalp and getting your hair clean. You just want to make sure that that motion with your fingers isn't in that circular like scrubbing motion that we like to do often. Instead, it's going in, even in the front, in that zigzag motion and getting those rows between your fingers. And then this is also a good time to put a mask on your hair and let it sit for a while. So let's see. I also want to talk about K-tips and I-tips for a second. So those are our individual strands instead of our wefts, like a tape-in or our volume weft. So when those start to grow out, sometimes they like to become friends, I guess I should say. And if two of those bonds, that natural hair that's growing out, if they twist into each other, sometimes that can cause matting. So you just want to make sure that if you do have K-tips or I-tips, that you're going through each individual bond and separating them. That's a good thing to do, like when you're just watching TV or just relaxing, reading a book, whatever. And just make sure that you're going through pulling apart those bonds and making sure that none of them are like stuck to each other. And then the tape-ins are just like a shorter weft. And they're the same thing. They go up and down, they don't go back and forth. So make sure that you're just keeping them in their natural fall and brushing them as well. So let's see. Is there anything else you can think of, like maintenance wise right now?
Do you want to talk about like some of the oil that we can be putting on?
Yes. So again, back to our Pocket Salon app. Make sure you're not running to the drugstore and getting Suave or Pantene shampoo. This is why we're doing this for you, is so you can still keep up with your products and your hair system. So those are also available for, all of our products are available for you to purchase. So this is also a good time with your extensions to be putting an oil in your hair. We love the Dry Remedy drops, and these can actually stay in your hair. So unless you use like a lot and you're just want to put more in, you'd probably want to shampoo that out. But 3 or 4 drops, depending on how much hair you have. And then I always say like collarbone down, like you kind of want to, that's what you want to focus on, because you don't want to, there's no reason to get that oil up to your scalp, because your natural oils, that's their job, is to nourish that hair up there. But it can't always be brought down to your ends. So that's where the Dry Remedy drops can help you. It adds some good shine, moisture, it smells good.
Smells so good.
Yeah, just kind of brings those extensions back to life. And then after you put them in, you can brush through them again and just kind of let them sit and do their thing. Also, one of our favorite shampoos for the extensions is our Nutriplenish. We have, the Color Conserve is great. The Nutriplenish is great. It has a wonderful smell to it, something that we haven't really smelled in the Aveda line, and we really like the smell. It's a little more fruitier instead of more of like a aromatherapy smell. Color Conserve is great. And then we like sap moss on them. That makes them feel really soft. So keep using your Aveda products, and we really encourage you to use that app. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is an extension service that we're going to be providing. And this is an extension kit, an extension removal kit that you can buy on our app. And what this is going to include is all the professional tools that we use to remove your extensions. We don't want anyone damaging their hair, and we want to keep your hair healthy. And, you know, with the Bellamy extensions, we've seen some of our clients' hair like transform with wearing these extensions, like their natural hair. And we want to keep your hair growing. We don't want any breakage. So if you feel like you are getting to that point, we do want to have this service for you. So it's going to include all the tools needed. It is going to include a Zoom call with me so I can walk you through step by step from the very beginning to the very end to make sure that it's getting removed in the safest way and the most professional way possible at this time. And then that's a good time for you to ask any questions that you may have as well. And if you're not sure if you're at that point of removal, again, let us know and we can do like a teleconsultation and we can kind of look at it and kind of see what's going on. And we can help you make that decision. This will also keep your extensions in order. So when we remove your extensions, we're very particular on where we place them on our station or on our boards that we have, because that hair has been cut to customize your haircut and to customize your head. So I want to make sure that that top row doesn't end up on the bottom when you come in if you try to remove them at home by yourself. So it allows us to keep your hair in order. And because Mary Paige, you can probably relate, like if for some reason the hair gets like out of order and you're like, oh my gosh, then it's a puzzle and it's kind of overwhelming sometimes to get that back in order.
And it causes having to cut your hair shorter.
Yeah.
Or the extension hair shorter if it's not an even line the way that we place them.
Yeah. And this will also give you a discount on your reinstallation fee. So we want to help you out as much as possible, but we want to do that as, so like if you just want to go do it by yourself, I don't know what products you're using to remove them. I don't know what tools you're using. I don't know what order your hair is in. So for us to be able to do this step by step with you, we want to give you that discount on your reinstallation. And that varies from client to client depending on how much hair they have in their head. But it's not going to be that full installation price. We're going to cut that down for you with the purchase of this kit and the Zoom call that goes along with it. So again, that's in the app. What you're going to do is you're going to, if you're in the app, you're going to go to the bottom and you're going to go down to products. And then you will go to curbside pickup. Don't click on Bellamy. That's what everyone kind of wants to go to, is click on Bellamy because that's what we're used to. But we're going to go to curbside pickup. And then there's going to be a option for extension kit removal. And then you're going to click on which extensions you have. So they're split up with K-tip and I-tip, and no, I think you'll click on which one you have. I can't remember which order they're in. It may be K-tip and tape, and then I-tip and weft together. So whichever one you have, just click on that. You'll put it in your cart, and then you'll check out. When you check out, you will soon get an email from Jamaica, and she will give you your pickup time and then your scheduled Zoom time with me.